Episode 20 fucking 9. Holy shit, everybody. Woo! Oh, that's nuts. I can't believe it. 29? First off, how how am I still doing this? But more importantly, how are you guys still listening to me? Holy shit, you guys are way too good to put up with my shit for that long. Let me here. I'm gonna go away for just a second. I'm gonna get started. Gonna make sure that everything's doing well. What are we doing? Come on, Chucky. Trying to get that shit started. Yeah. Edit. Uh-oh. Can I not do it on here? Edit privacy. Public. Okay, perfect. Let's see if we can start getting some questions, some comments. If you're here, feel free to start commenting, share, send it all around. Yes, he's there. I figure it's you can tolerate me. It's at least yes. I appreciate that. Matt Knowles is in the house. What's going on, buddy? Oh, guys, this is going to be one of the funnest and most fucked up shows we've probably ever had. Please like, share. Hey, if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. Check it out. I keep forgetting to say that, but I should, right? But yeah, man, we have such a weird, fun show set up for you today. This is not like anything else we've done. Feel free to ask any questions. This is definitely going to be something that I think we're talking, especially me because it's me. I tend to talk about story a lot, and I love the storytelling aspect, writing, all that kind of stuff. But got to show love for our homie. That's right, man. That's right. You know what's up. So, this show is going to be very different. Feel free to ask any questions, pretty much. We're just going to have a blast. It's going to be so different. So, you know what? Let's just fucking start this train wreck and see what happens.
Canadian bacon is actually really good, and it's nothing like normal bacon, and it's better than ham, which you guys seem to call Canadian bacon. I'm very good at writing. I write very well. Yeah, it's Shop Talk.
Do some of your audience members like the word fuck? Cool. Then I'm going to keep saying fuck because I care.
What is up, Harrison?
Hey!
Thank you, Elfie. Guys, this is my dude, Harrison Hansen, the only cool fucking Hansen out there. I'm not wrong in that one, right?
No, you're not.
Right? See, it's all truth. You get it.
No,
I remember when
no umbop here. No.
when we met in Florida, you were like, I fucking hate my last name. Like, you were just like, fuck those guys, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, we're going to get along great. Like, you dropped so many F-bombs at the table. I was like, oh, man, I hope there's no kids in the store because we're about to fuck shit up.
I have to periodically look around and be like, are there any fucking little kids around? Oh, shit, there are. Okay.
Yeah, we had right across the aisle from me was the 15-year-old artist. We're just like, fuck, shit, dick, blah, blah, blah.
I know. I feel bad because I'm like, you're fucking awesome, too.
Well, you know what, though? She's great. Her dad knows that that's how we talk. And so, yeah, she knew what she was getting into. We've been in some streams and stuff together. My wife's phone is ringing. So yeah, man, cool. We got people here. Guys, let me tell you a little bit about Harrison. Harrison is a leather worker. Yes, I'm totally serious here. Yes, he's also metal as fuck, but he is a leather worker. And so this guy has done all sorts of stuff. And the reason that he's I've been able to meet the dude and hang out with him is that my good buddies, Matt Knowles and Steph Cannon, they have used a lot of his stuff in their campaigns. His stuff is fucking amazing. Actually, Wendy, can you throw me the dragon? I bought this when I was in Florida, and the first time I ever met him, I went and I bought this because I'm a huge fucking dragon fan. So he made this cool little keychain. And this is all leather, as you guys can see up close. And it's a cool dragon. He's got eyes and everything. It's hard to see in this light, but just so badass.
I wish I had big ones with me, but I would make one for myself for display, but I got tired of making them because I made a whole bunch. Matt and Steph have two of them, so
They only have 2. Have they sold that many?
Well, no, they sold like we sold like 5 of them, I think, through their campaign, but they have 2 for their display alone. So I made like.
Are those the keychains, or are we talking the full fucking
No,
mask?
they have 2 full-size masks.
Yeah, those are bad. I don't have the money for that, but fuck, one day I'm gonna be buying me a fucking full mask, buddy.
We'll make you one, buddy. We'll make. I trust me. I got plenty of leather.
Dude,
You know how
I'm so
people
down for it.
get obsessed and like they're like, like I don't need to buy any more of this one thing anymore. And like every time I go to the leather Tandy leather store, the manager there, he's a friend of mine. He gets me. He's like, "Hey, Harrison, look what they just came out with," and I'm like. Just like smacking him with my card, just take my money. So I can.
You're every time you walk in there, you're basically just fried. Take my fucking money.
Yeah. Can I hit you? Like you're gonna feel the impact of my wallet over the phone. Like.
So, anyways, guys, he's a leather worker. He makes all sorts of badass stuff. A lot of his stuff, of course, has been for Matt Knowles and Steph Cannon. So it's been a mixture of steampunk and fantasy and all that kind of cool shit. He makes all sorts of stuff. I usually ask the same question of everybody. I'm gonna have to change it up because it's you. He says, Harrison. In fact, even my skin is made of leather. I'm sure with all that, are you like with how hot it gets in there? Sometimes it probably feels like it.
Yeah, everybody always asks me, why don't you wear a leather apron in your shop? And I'm like, you know how fucking hot that is? Like, I have a leather apron for my steampunk cosplay, and it is stupid hot. Like, yeah, no, canvas and denim or something, something light.
Right. So to get started, I usually ask the same questions. Obviously, I'm going to have to change it up for you. So first off, what got you into comics and all the kind of genre stuff that you're currently working for? And then as a follow-up, what made you start on the leatherworking? Go.
Well, let me, I'll answer the second one first.
Okay.
Because I've always been like a hobbyist guy, I was into steampunk before I knew what steampunk was, because I've been collecting like weird bits of garbage and all kinds of shit for years and like holding on to it. Like, I'll use this one day. Like little like bobs and like, like you end up like, oh, this red little spool is cool, and like chuck it in the bin. Like, and I've been carrying around for years.
You sound like a fucking raccoon. You're just this is shiny and pretty.
Yeah, this is shiny. I'm gonna keep that shit. But I had a leather like starter hobby kit, and I bought that a few years and years ago, actually now. And how I got into leatherwork is kind of it's a little story. Is like I was working at a mom and pop vape shop. Things went kind of south. They couldn't keep employees anymore. That was understandable. I was let go, so was my coworker. But I tell you, it's long story. It was the best thing that ever happened. But anyway, I like did stuff around the house for like a month, and I'm like, I got all this time. And then I did like legit, like my last project. I like turned the last screw of like installing knobs in the kitchen, and then the crushing like, oh my god, I'm unemployed came out, and just like. So I was like sitting there with my buddy Martin, and I was trying to, get my resume back together. And my wife comes in the room. She's like, what are you guys doing? I was like, trying to figure out my resume. And then she says, hey, you know that like leathercraft hobby kit we've been carrying around for like 4 years that we've moved like 3 times with? Yeah. And quote from her was, why don't you do something with that shit? And I was like, okay, yeah. And then Martin was like, yeah, we can team up, because he's like, he knows more of the business side. And because with me, if I just did it on my own, like it would just be like, hey, look at this cool thing I made. What are you gonna do with it? I don't fucking know. Like I wouldn't like know what to do, like sell it. Like, oh, Etsy's easy. I'm like, yeah, but I'd forget to put it in the mail or something. I don't want to deal with it. But so we started this up, and at first it was like two fat guys making fun stuff out of leather. Bah, bah, bah. And then like 4 years later, it's just like, holy crap, this is a business. Like I have deadlines. I have an accountant. What happened? But how I got into comics is I'm very nerdy. I've always liked comic books, love superheroes, and I know there's a lot of comics out there. There's all different kinds of styles. And I've always been one, if you give me two choices of like the mainstream normal and just weird as fuck, I'm going for weird as fuck.
Yeah.
So like I'm going for the different one. I'm like chocolate chip cookies or like cinnamon with craisins. I don't know, let me try that, So like comics are great. I don't like reading, makes me fall asleep very much. I trouble with it. Like I listen to like Harry Potter books on tape. It's not tape anymore, but that, the saying, I'm old. So like reading comics was a lot of fun, but I just could never follow all the mainstream stories. Like I like reading them, but nothing really like made me want to go out and spend my money on comics until one day we're at this new show, and it was the first time we've ever done a steampunk show, and it was a show called the Renegers Steampunk and Industrial Show. Is at Renegers Flea Market in Mount Dora, Florida. It was like a 2-day weekend event. We were trying it out, see how it would work out, and we set up. And then, of course, we had to set up for like early because we got all this shit, so much stuff, and walls and grid walls and displays, and there's just so much stuff to set up. And then, like, I didn't know who our neighbors were going to be. And then, like, the morning of, like, here's this tall guy and this short lady. They come up and they start throwing together like, and then I'm like, oh, comic books, what's this? And that's where I met Matt Knowles and Steph Cannon. That was a few
that's awesome.
years ago now. And here's this guy in this crazy vest and a top hat who doesn't stop moving when he talks. It's absolutely out of his gourd, and I love it. And like, and Steph was a little bit more quieter, but she was like just super fun, super chill. And I'm like, and they have this crazy comic book that they do, Heirs of Isildur, and it's just like a steampunk comic book. Okay, so. Like I tried, I was like, let me get that, let me get a couple. That was it. I think I got the first issue or first few issues. I think they're up on the wall, back there. And I got hooked, man. I was like, this is what I'm talking about. This is like they do this themselves, and like, it's like, and don't get me wrong, I love Batman, I love Superman, I love Marvel, but I'm like.
Yeah,
they have 2 full minivans of shit. Yeah, that's right. And the first picture I ever have of Matt, he's like walking off camera, and he's like has his comic book in his hand, and he's still not like he's still in motion. Like he does move and talk a lot. But we met these folks, and I hit it off with them pretty well. And then I got a bunch of stuff from them, and like let's see, they backed their Heirs 11 Kickstarter and stuff. I got a bunch of cool stuff. And then a little while later, they were doing Nocturnia, their spinoff, Tales of Nocturnia, issue 1. And they reached out to us about doing these little mini cuff because we do like a full gauntlet. And then they were like, can you do like a mini wrist cuff with the logo? Okay, we did some of those. And then the second time, they're like, I was like, I want to work with them again. And they did their second Kickstarter, so we reached out to them, and because they were doing a milestone thing, and it was like, they're putting up prizes, like, hey, to incite people to come join the Kickstarter, back the Kickstarter for issue 2. And of course, like I backed like a bunch. I got a bunch of cool crap, and we put up. You could purchase a set of gauntlets, and there was someone could win a set of custom gauntlets. Which like we do. What the hell?
Well, so to jump in real quick, because there was a question and somebody was very excited. They asked for, can we have leather covers for their comics? Is that something you're able to do? Like a leather-bound comic.
Leather-bound comic.
I think I know his answer.
I mean, like a book sleeve sort of thing, or like a regular sized comic book, like the leather probably actually kind of mess it up more than anything. Because you just got stiffer leather trying to shove the thin papers, the back at the top and the back and the front end. But like a bigger like trade book most likely be all right. Be expensive, a lot of stitching. Because I don't use any machines. Just right here. I don't have any fancy dancy machines that I can just whip up.
So would that be something that would be best, say, for a hardcover? Like if they had like a hardcover book, and then you could have a sleeve, a leather sleeve that would go over top of it. Would that probably be for the best? Yeah.
If they wanted something they could open up and have just have like a book sleeve.
Yeah. See, I knew, because we've talked already. I knew his basic answer would be, I'll fucking find a way. Like, I'll figure it out. You want it? My boy Sean down here, he says, not even gonna lie, I kind of want a leather Belial cuff I can wear, and I'll tell you, I know that he can do that shit. It'll cost you.
I can make cuffs, man. We started off kind of making like the gauntlets, arm guard cuffs, and just mainly for shits and giggles. But it turns out we were kind of good at them. I mean, I've taught classes at Tandy Leather, my local Tandy, and like people have told me, they're like, "You're a great teacher," and I'm like, "Really?" Because I'm like, I guess maybe because I don't talk like a teacher. Because I'm like, I'm not using proper terminology. I'm like, yeah, that fucking thing. Just take that and go, a little bit, and you'll be fine. It'll be all right. It's leathercraft. If you make a mistake, just kind of like pretend that it was supposed to be there. Just.
I love it. All right, I got a bunch of questions here for you. You ready for this?
Do it.
The first one. What the fuck do you have against mustaches? Because I looked through your whole fucking timeline and I could never find you in a mustache. So what's your fucking issue?
All right, I'll give you. There's two answers to that. One, my wife hates it. She's like, oh God, get the fuck away from me with that. If there's any sort of like fuzz, and two, not much grows past this chin line here. Okay, this Amish Quaker ass beard, like this is what you get. Like I can grow the most impressive neck beard ever. Like Jebediah.
It is impressive. It is impressive.
Just and like this is all shaved too. Like I could just be like, just the most massive neck beard, but like past this, garbage. Just
right.
So like I've tried this before.
Sean, I'll tell you straight up. I know this guy well enough. I'll just hook you up with him so you guys can chat. And because he's really excited. So yeah, I'll hook you guys up. You can talk about it, and we'll figure it out. Because especially for the trade, something like that would be fucking badass, homie. I feel you. Okay, yeah. I mean,
if I could grow a mustache, I probably would.
Right.
But
I can't. Like, people have asked me if I shave in here, and I'm like, no, I just don't grow in there. Like this spot here.
No, just can't do it. My brother can grow a full beard in 2 weeks, and I hate him for it. So, but I can't.
They would like a link of where we can buy or order the products. Do you think you could possibly put it in the chat, or do you want me to?
Yeah, hold on. Let me find a business card. I'm like, I don't know how to do that.
Well, okay, you give me the address, and I'll write it down. All right. It's not technical difficulties, my friends. He got very excited.
Just like knocking shit over.
And while he's not around, you can like look behind him and see all the cool shit back there.
Oh yeah, there's stuff here. Yeah.
That's all shit that he's made. So okay, so what is it? I'll write it down.
I've got Instagram, I got Facebook, and I've got some stuff on an Etsy shop, and I've got a website that's going to be. It's not here yet, but it's coming. Like I'm just because I'm terrible at technology and social media.
So you guys don't have your own website yet?
No, I have purchased. I've had the domain for 2 years. Just haven't finished it. It's just like I got a friend who's helping me do it. It's just like she needs me to send her stuff, and I'm like just the other day, I'm like, Google Drive. What is this confuckery here? You know, like.
So
she's like,
Andrew, he is linked. His Facebook is linked here. So if you want to pick up his products, you want to get some because most of his stuff is he does a lot of custom work, but he also has other stuff. Hit him up on Facebook, and that would be, I assume, that would be one of the easier ways to do it. Is just hit you up on Messenger.
Leatherworks. We do lots of custom work, and if they're say you're looking through a picture and you're like, oh, that, or like here, you're like that fucking like plague doctor mask, I need that. Be like, if we still have it, I'll sell the shit out of it to you. You know, like if I don't have it, then I'll be like, what are you looking for? Like I make lots of fun stuff. There's that
dude. Yeah,
that's a little small for my head.
So what is something, just so people are aware of what goes into it, whatnot? What does something like that go for?
Like the giant top hats. Let's see. We do these for not too bad. They're like 150, 165, depending.
Oh, that's actually really good. That's all leather?
This is all leather, but this, like, as you can see, this is a much simpler one because there's just one panel that's with stitching, but I have some that are like our steampunk panel hats, and there's 12 panels around the brim. There's a top part, and then there's a double-sided brim with a wire, and like those can go up higher because there's like an ass ton of stitching to do. You know, it's like there's smaller pieces to cut out and punch holes, but like there's a lot of it. So, and like I said, we don't use the machines. Matt, thank you, Matt, because
you're awesome, Matt. We appreciate you. And
he knows
my boy
me.
Ben, leather skills, chin beard, and a fear of technology. This guy's either a time traveler or Amish.
I'll speak with those of the robot race, as Early Collar would have said. Like no, I seriously, and it's no joke. I have a giant felt sun hat that I had a custom made, like 6-inch brim. So I look like I sell oatmeal, like just Quaker ass oats, or like I wear an apron and like a long sleeve work like sun shirt. So it's like if people are like, "Where do I look for?" I'm like, just look for the kind of fat Amish guy. That's you'll find me. I'm out there, outside the farmer's market.
Here's a good one. Where did you come up with the name GB Leatherworks?
Okay, so that's kind of a funny story. So my dog, Jack, is just a he's just a little like he looks like a trash bear, like he's a gremlin. And when we first started this, I was like, the dog is the CEO. We thought it'd be funny, and like I have this little like nickname for him because I started calling him Garbage Bear.
Oh, that's great!
It's like instead of a trash panda, he's a garbage bear because he's just this little like runs, and he's all grizzly. And he's adorable, but so we were known as we named our LLC is Garbage Bear Designs, but people don't really understand what the hell that is. Like we thought it was funny. People who see the sign is because the sign was my dog's head, but my friend who does all this computer stuff like put a top hat and a monocle on him, and like oh, the dog's the CEO. But we changed it around because it didn't really insinuate what we do, we focus on leather crafting and everything like that. And there's a few times where it's like trying to get into bigger shows and events. Some people may not get the humor behind it. They're like, Garbage Bear, like, oh, I don't know. So it's now GB Leatherworks, which stands for Garbage Bear.
Garbage Bear. And of course, no one ever calls you out on that. They're like, "Oh, good for you," like whatever.
Yeah, no, but if you look at the back of our business card, all the way at the bottom in smaller letters, it still says Garbage Bear Designs LLC, because our LLC, like, if you write us a check,
name, right?
You have to write it to Garbage Bear Designs, like, and it's designs with a Z because we're cool.
Sean, okay, so we were talking about this earlier. Sean said, I don't know about barns, but all this talk about custom leather is raising some tents. So I had asked earlier, I'm like, does it? And so we talked about this a little bit before the show, but of course you get asked about BDSM gear. What's the answer with that?
And here's the thing: everyone, like, people, like the questions I've been asked in the past 4 years of doing this are, I don't give a fuck anymore. Like, I have there's nothing that's gonna make me blush or be shamed. I don't give a shit. Like, what you do, like, well, I don't care. You're like, oh, you want some, I was like, you want like a mask that you can like attach a, like, what to? Okay, I think I can make that. Yeah, I just need the connection piece and whatever. I don't give a fuck. And to tell you the truth, like, any sort of, no matter what it is, you can bring me all kinds of BDSM gear to make, and it's still not going to be the weirdest fucking thing I've ever made. That has a place, and it has not been toppled. It is that project is still #1 weirdest fucking thing I've ever done.
I think that that's the next question.
So, at the farmers market, we get, like, other vendors, and always do like a vendor discount and stuff. And one of the fellow vendors was that they make all different kinds of stuff, like goat's milk, and they have fresh farm eggs and stuff. But they do a lot of stuff with goat's milk. Apparently, they have lots of goats. And he asked me, he's like, I need you to make, can you come over and look at this goat apron? So I'm like, oh, yeah, sure, I can help you recreate that. Because I thought it was like a fucking apron that he wears, that a human would wear to handle.
With a coat on it or something. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, like, because there's hair and everything. And so he hands me this weird, like, nylon thing, and it's this weird pouch. And it's got like a beanbag weight in it, and then like a messed up belt. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like having it close to my face, and I'm holding this with like just in my hands. And he goes, well, it's what it goes like. So what happens is the male goats, when they're not with the females, they get upset and they get sick and they can die. So, they need to be with the female goats. But when they're with the female goats, they had like a bunch of baby goats that they weren't expecting, because apparently goats just fuck all the time. And he's like, so this thing wraps around their, like, waist. And so when they stand up to mount the females, the weights flap it down. So, I'm like, did you just fucking hand me a goat cock block apron? Is this what you just did? He's like, well, I wasn't going to call it that, but I'm like, this is a goat nut block apron. That's what this is. Like, and it is stiff too, mind you. Okay. And I'm like,
it's like a goat cod piece, right?
Yeah. So
effectively,
it's like if you were to take, like, make a bag, but then have it closed up, but there's a big bean bag in it. So that way, when they're on all fours, it's normal, so they can pee and do whatever. But when they stand up, it just flaps right down. And it's just the chastity belt for, like, goats. And I'm like, this is okay. And, like, because the thing is, the goats are smart, and it's a little like nylon straps, like 1 inch wide, and they're rubbing it against the trees and ripping the shit off. And so, and they had one goat that was named Hercules, and he was, appropriately named. This is a big ass goat. So like we made like it was a 2.5 inch like wide, 10-ounce thick leather strap, like this big beefy, cock block apron with like the heaviest duty leather we could think of. And I'm like an adjustable and all this other jazz. It was gorgeous, but it's still, like I said, the weirdest thing I've ever made. I told him, I was like, listen, if that goat rips out of this, he can fuck whatever he wants. Like it's, you know what I mean? Like if he can get out of this thing, I don't know what's going to stop him now. He's now like just whatever. It's like
I'm rooting for him though. Like I kind of want him to.
I was like, well, I never had a call back, so obviously it worked. So I mean,
okay, so you made this thing.
We made it.
And you've never, like, I got to be honest, man, if it were me, I'd be calling him like 3 months later, just be like, and? Like, I need the rest of the story. How'd it go?
I have, he sent me photos of the goat, and he's like modeling with that fucking apron on. So I have those as proof.
So obviously it works.
It worked. But it's like I tell people, like, if you have any problems, it's like if he breaks anything or like just call, I'll fix it, But like we made it, like I tried to make things as solid as possible because it's gonna be like they wear it all the time. It's gonna be out in the sun. Essentially, yes. And so people are like, "Oh, is that like what? Did you make some handcuffs?" I'm like, "That's baby work, man. No, I'm talking. I made goat block aprons. Okay, that's the weirdest shit ever." So like making that fucking like Hannibal Lecter mask, that ain't nothing. They ain't got shit on me, man.
So yeah, if you guys want something fucked up, go ahead and ask for it because it ain't shit apparently. You know what's funny? So I talked to Matt and Steph beforehand. And I was like, hey man, I want some inside advice. What's some good questions? And Matt said, ask them just a question. What is your favorite goat wear? And I just got a message from Matt, and he was like, you didn't even have to fucking ask. Like, it came up naturally in conversation. I'm like, yeah, that was pretty fucked up.
If you read the trade of their Tales of Nocturnia, where the characters, like little bios are.
Yeah.
I'm in that book because I'm drawn in there, and there's a part about like leaving his love of farming goats. That is a little nod to that story I told. I told them the same story. That's what that is. Those sons of bitches put it in there, and they were like, hee, they're laughing their asses off about that. And I'm like, like I said, like I can't be embarrassed because I've made like there's nothing that can top that level of insanity. Like, and like I've had people bring me crazy projects. And like, not all of them are weird. That's Steph, and she's laughing. Are you crying? Like, you're not sad, are you? Because it was funny.
I think she's crying in laughter. Oh yeah, shit, wrong emoji.
Sad about that. That was hilarious. Like every time I show that to somebody, I'm like, "You see this? Because there's goat dicks," and just like
Oh shit! No one's gonna forget this fucking one. No one.
I knew we would be like, I knew we would have a great time on this because it's like people are like, "Oh, what's the weirdest thing you ever made?" I'll tell you right now. It's that. Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because I can see when we have new people, and all of a sudden you started talking about the goat cock blocker, and my numbers started going up, and I'm like, "Oh shit!" And you guys are coming in late too. Like you missed the goat cock blocker that he made. You're gonna have to go back and watch the rest of it because. Holy shit, people. Wow, dude. Wow.
I don't think you were expecting that one.
No, I didn't. And I'm so glad they didn't tell me the story beforehand because it's so much better hearing it straight from you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean you've proved you're into comics, you're into all this kind of stuff. And I've seen you jumped on our Belial too. We got that coming out in the next week or so. So that's going to be sent to people soon. You'll be able to check that out.
It's actually going to be like, oh, yeah, Belial. Oh, wait, I don't have it yet.
Yeah, right. It's coming, I promise. So,
so after meeting Matt and Steph, started like, I would like there was a couple times Matt was at some local events, and then I'd go meet up with him just to hang out and like show some support. And then he was like, one day he was like, "Hey, here's our buddy Travis Gibb. You ever met? You come meet him." And he was like, "Do you like guns, violence, and the F word?" And I'm like, fuck yeah, I do." And it was like, and I was like, "Let me broke down in 4 dead bodies. All right, I like where you're going with this, sir." And so I kind of started meeting all these people, and different shows, and then I met like Richard Rivera and Travis Gibbs, Luke Stone, and you, and I'd met you. I think I was on. It was with Pops or something. It was with Pops, and like they were doing a live stream, and Pops was like, "Fuck it, bring him on." And like they had me come on. I was like 10. I had to go like put on clothes because I was like in bed, and I was like, "Oh." Because I'm an old man. I'm in bed like 10:30 at night, and then they're like, "Oh, Chuck's here," and then you get on there, and you sounded like you were already 4 beers in. And you're just like, "What the fuck is going on?" And you just started going, and I'm like, "I like this guy." And I could, and like, hey, like, there's been, I'll watch a live stream. They're like, "Chuck's here." I'm like, "Yeah, now it's a fucking party,"
Okay, full disclosure, you might not believe this, but for like 99% of my shows, I'm pretty much dead sober. That's just me.
I figured that, but it's like you're just like, it's like you essentially there's not a door there, but you like kick the fucking door in on the live stream. You're just like, boom, bitches,
Let's have
I'm
some
here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
like, fuck yeah.
Like I was telling earlier, showmanship and jazz hands, man, making fucking interest. Be the loudest person in the room.
Oh, dude. Yeah, you know what it's like, man. You know what it's like. I love that, man. Sean says, we now have a new character for Belial 3. Pissed off Goat Demon because he can't get his chastity belt off. Yeah, I'm probably going to have to write that in somehow. Have to make that happen.
I'll send you photos of the belt so you can see.
Yes.
Now, it looks like.
Ben is already hyping because he's enjoying this episode so much. He's hyping the next episode. Of course, next episode, I'm interviewing the GOAT. Because I can't believe everything you said. I'm really interested in his side of the story, too. So next week is the GOAT.
I don't know. I don't know if he's taking interviews right now.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure he's pissed off. Ben says, I've known people who are the life of the party. Chuck is the party. Ah, thank you, homie. Ben and I have been at a lot of parties, so he would know. Matt says, Sean Barbour wants to know if he can get one of those goat sleeves. Used, of course. Of course.
I can ask.
At this point, all of the goat sleeves he's made are used. So it's not like I mean, do you really have a bunch just sitting in the stockpile?
No, we only made the 2.
2?
We made 2.
He wanted 2. That's great. Now, what are we drinking today?
Well, I am drinking. This is a macadamia nut cookie sour ale from Tactical Brewing Company.
Holy shit! Bougie as fuck. I'm drinking black cherry water.
I got a little cooler right next to me because I didn't want to have to get up in the middle of the fucking stream.
I think that's brilliant. I respect the fuck out of that. Brian says, and the Goat Demon wants revenge on the chastity. Of course he does. And I've been called the Goat. Yeah, luckily he hasn't. I don't think he's got enough leather to make one of those for me, man. That takes a lot of leather.
Listen here. That's something that because like both me and my business partner are large dudes. We got big fucking skulls. No hats fit. We're both left-handed. Like, finding shit is awful. Okay? So we kind of accidentally started catering to, like, fat, big-headed dudes, Like, I make stuff for everyone, but, like, I always get these guys, and they're like, oh, no hats fit in my head. I'm like, try this motherfucker on, And they're like, wow, it fits. And I'm like, yeah, I know. because I have a big skull. I make lots of mediums and larges because that's the normal hats that I sell. But like, you need a double XL, I can make that shit.
See, that's like a niche within a niche within a niche. You're a leather worker for fat guys. Like, that's fucking awesome.
It's like, I've made my own belt before. And it's a big piece of. It's a lot of fucking cow. So I can make.
You know how many cows died for my fucking belt?
Okay. Like, and if the strip's not long enough, I just add an extension piece for the buckle. It's just like whatever.
Right.
I have my own airplane seatbelt extension, so I don't have to ask the stewardess for one.
Wow.
You can buy those on Amazon. I didn't know that.
So you just bring your own, just snap it in automatically, don't even bother them?
Yep.
I respect the fuck out of that.
Because before I bought that, I don't fly very often, but the last time I flew, I could not get her attention. And so I just didn't have my seatbelt on the whole fucking time. And like, I just kind of like held it like here. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess we're like landing this bitch,
I think, you know what? That's fucking dumb, because let's be honest. They can walk by you and they know that motherfucker's going to need an extender.
Like they were on a mission. Yeah. I mean, I was flying from like Gainesville to Atlanta, and like that is a 45-minute flight max. Okay.
Yeah.
It is a pack of gum in the air. Like, it's such a small plane. When I was randomly seated next to another large guy, they had to move one of us to the other side of the plane. There's like, we can't have two fat guys on the same side. This bitch is going to lean to the left the whole time. It's like
just flying like this.
Yeah. So they're like, oh, well, there's actually an extra seat over here if you'd like it to have your own seat. And I'm like, yeah, sure. I do want my own seat by myself. There's only 2 seats on each side, so I'll take it. But I know. It's also because we're both like this, like, hey, what's going on, bro? Just.
Yeah, she was protecting the peanuts and pretzels. Actually, that's what was going on. All right. What do you make the most of? You told me this at the fucking show, and I'm like, oh, I'm mentioning that.
This.
Show it to everybody. Are you able to, guys? Check this shit out.
So this is a teacup holster. You loop it through your belt. It holds a teacup, a saucer, and a spoon. And
you make a fuckload of those, right?
Shit tons. And I love it. I love it. And like, I don't know what happened, because we had them on our Etsy. Like, we put them up there and we had a few orders and it was awesome. And then last year, September-ish, October, November. I think it was like beginning of November, end of October, beginning of November. Like, I don't know if steampunk just exploded on Reddit. I have no idea what happened, but we were just bum rushed with orders of just teacup holsters. And it was one of the most insane experiences I've ever had in my life. Because we had, like, in a matter of less than a week, like 45 orders for these.
That's fucking ridiculous.
And I'm like, I don't even. And I don't have. Oh, my business partner Martin's texting me with. I don't know the dates. I guess it was like Black Friday. It was like, yeah. It was like.
Was he watching?
Yeah, he's watching. Yeah, tell him you should comment in the comments. But yeah. We just like, it was just like, oh wow, dude, it was like 4 in one day, and then it was like 6 in one day, and I was like, I don't know what's happening here. And then it was just like 4, 3, 6, 9. It's just like, what?
It's so big that this dude in Canada is like, yeah, I've seen pictures of those making the rounds for the last year.
And I was just like, because like we've made these for a bit now, and I was like, they've like been popular at steampunk shows in particular, but like, you know, most people, I have this on display because I put the teacup in it because most people are like, what in the shit is that? And I'm like, it's a teacup holster. It holds a teacup, a saucer, and a spoon. There's a little strap on the teacup, and you can take it off and drink your tea. And people are like, why would you need your tea with you? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. Like,
okay, so yeah, that's the fucked up thing. First off, what's the story behind you making the first one?
It was a fun pattern. I thought it was funny. And we were like, hey, we're doing steampunk stuff now. People like to drink tea. Like we went to a one where there's tea dueling things. Where like tea dueling, where it is essentially boils down to who can shove a wet cookie in their mouth without getting mess everywhere. Turns out I'm really good at that shit. I'm a tea dueling champion. Because you have to hold the cookie in the tea and then hold it upright. And then whoever can do it, like, oh, you're like, oh, it's going to fall. And then you have to put the cookie in your mouth, but like it's a wet cookie. So like it's soft. It's a shortbread cookie. So it just falls apart. But there's a method. You have to do like the dunk move. And like there's a whole like steampunk, like the whole Victoria, London and like tea time. So like tea is kind of like always wrapped in steampunk. Right? No, even if tea dueling is way more fun than you would think. Watching a bunch of adults try to fucking eat a wet cookie without like getting it everywhere is hilarious. Like, so, but it's kind of like a little always essential part of steampunk stuff. Whether you do it or not, whether you're into the tea part, it's always around you. So I was like, fuck, let's make some teacup holsters. Like, it's funny. It's like a gun holster, but for tea sets. Hilarious. And then it just last year, like I said, it just exploded, and I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I was this close to like getting like a clicker cutter and like a die cast made, because I cut all those out by hand. I draw them on. I cut out like, because there's like the two straps and then the back and then the plate that holds that part, and then there's this weird little part that you like for the cup and a couple of little straps. And like, so I'm like, I went through so many razor blades and so many cuts on my hands, and just like when I say blood, sweat, and tears, I mean it. Like I hurt my hands a lot, because everybody's like, oh well, like, do you get them, like, how do you get these cut out? And I'm like, I have like, there's all kinds of fancy knives and leather knives and all kinds of shit. I got a few of them. I use a DeWalt fucking like razor blade and like a pen. Like, I use a pen on the back of the leather. I draw everything out. I cut it out. I punch all the holes by hand. Edge bevel everything so the edges are rounded and smooth. Stain them. Re-dye the edges black. And then slick everything by hand with a wood slicker. And then I put a weatherproof coating on it. And then I assemble everything with rivets, all those. So they're not insanely hard, but then there was like 45 fucking orders in a row. And I was like, I went to like 2 whole sides of leather.
So are you the creator? Like, are you the creator of the teacup?
No, it was a pattern that I had purchased online, because there's all kinds of great patterns. I have made my own patterns. I've made tons of patterns. I've also purchased a lot of patterns because
so this was already a thing.
This was already a thing. I added the little spoon sleeve, the little spoon piece, the little thing that holds the teaspoon. I added that because I'm like, well, what are you gonna stir your tea with? Your finger? Ugh. You know.
I love it. You were just like, you know what's missing from this incredibly fucked up thing that I can't imagine people actually buy? This. And you're like, you add it onto it.
Like, they're cool. They're cool, but I had never, if you had asked me like a year before that, like, it told me like, hey, the thing you're going to sell the most of is a teacup holster, I would have been like, no way, man. It's going to be like one of these super big, crazy things that I make. Right. No. It's a teacup holster, and it's popular.
If we want a teacup holster, what does that go for?
There's 60 for a regular size and 70 for a
Just the standard.
larger cup. It's like a big teacup. It's for like a tea for one set. So 70 for those, 60 for the other. Free shipping to U.S. domestic.
Free shit. Wow, guys, hey, that's actually not bad. Holy shit.
Yeah, everybody's like, well, free shipping. I'm like, yeah, well, I pay for it. I pay for the shipping for you.
Yeah, no. Yeah, right? No, the free shipping, that's actually pretty sweet. It's like, I may have to be a part of that sometime.
It's a lot of
Steph
fun.
lost in the championship. That's fucking hilarious. So, Wendy then is like, do you make mundane stuff?
Yes, I do. I call it normie things. I make lots of normie things. I make another thing we sell a lot of are just little clutch bags. Like this is just a little clutch, and it has this really cool lock, and it pops open, and there's a strap on the inside, and there you can like it's a crossbody or what. The thing I like on alter it on the pattern is I put on a belt loop, and the straps have little lobster claws on them, so you could use it as a little clutch, or you could use it as a belt bag. And I like the versatility of it, so I added a bit more hardware and added a little bit more stuff, and but you can use it as a purse, or you could use it as a little belt bag. So if you're somebody that's like, she has one of our like little drawstring ones, which I don't have any on hand because they're gone, which is awesome. But I just got to make more. But so like these, like I call it, it's normie things, and it's this lock here, this right here, like everybody, like I invested heavily into these. I buy crap loads of them because it's a little steampunk turn lock. So it's like, I'm gonna get this closer.
Here,
so,
let's. I'll get you right in there. There you go.
Yeah, so you can just you turn it, and then it opens up.
Oh, that's so cool.
And like. I used to make a bunch of different kinds of handbags. I literally just make this clutch, and then a little drawstring clutch with the flap too. And that's it. I make them out of all kinds of different leathers, but this one's this new nice blue, kind of a heavier leather. Normie stuff I make. Where are they at? I make a lot of these old school, like 70s style, like hairpins.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And whenever we have these out, we always get these ladies coming like, oh shit, I had bought one of those in 19. I had one in the 70s, man. They go on like a nostalgia trip, down memory lane. I make like sunglass cases or eyeglass cases. This is a large one. If you got like big
nice.
Lady Gaga sunglasses, of course I make them out of crazy leathers like this, which is a hair-on cowhide. It's super reflective. It's shiny. It's acid washed.
I wanna meet the fucking cow that has that hide. That's fucking awesome.
Dude,
that cow was fucking awesome at parties.
I know they do stuff at the tannery, but I always just tell people, I'm like, that cow was on LSD. And, so we make little, like, bifolds, RFID lined and stuff to help protect against scanners. It's got suede on the inside. This is Italian, like, veg belly. It's very nice. You can see it's got a nice, rich color to it from just out in the sun. Make little just card and cash wallets, and it's like we make these a lot, and like we make a lot of making these little pocket slips, little front pocket slips. These are bigger sizes, are good for, they actually hold business cards really well because business cards are longer, so they're taller. That's a normie thing. I make a lot of these little bracelets. I make a lot of keychains, a lot of purses and handbags. But then, like, when we go to the farmer's market, people ask us, they're like, oh, do you guys keep all that weird shit away from the farmer's market? I'm like, no. I sell more weird stuff.
Yeah.
I sell them equally because I'll sell a handbag, but then like I also sell like crazy.
Yeah.
And these are suede lined, and I got a bunny one here.
So when you're at a farmer's market, how much of your business is them buying what you have there, and how much of it is I have this fucking cool thing I want you to make?
To tell you the truth, because like here's the thing, people always want like, oh, I got all these cool things I want, like, and I'm like, okay, you know, like I get a lot of people that I'm like, oh, they'll just message us. I hand them a card because I'm not going to start a sheet because like you're interested, but you're not. But then there's a few people who are like, I got this insane idea, and like I'm like, oh, that's awesome. They're like, do you want money down now? And I'm like, you're dead serious. Okay. Give you an example. If I can show this up here.
Here, I'll put you solo again, just so I feel like this is gonna be cool, whatever it is.
So like this guy was like, he wanted a gun belt, but then instead of guns, it held tequila bottles.
Wow.
So we made this. Says tequila on the back, and we did like the whole bolo of the bandolier and everything, and like we have a whole like we've done a lot of arm cuffs and gauntlets. Our buddy Lou came up and he's like, you know, he wanted this crazy like steampunk western like gun belt. So
wow.
And the arm piece he already had, and he wanted it to connect to it. So we did this one a few years ago. And so when the guy wanted the tequila gun belt, he had been wanting one made for like 10 years, and he couldn't find anyone that would be willing to do it. And not only are we crazy enough to do it, we have proof that we've done crazy shit before. Because, you know, I'm not doing just a regular 2-inch wide gun belt with some bullet loops. So you're getting it's like a big old school Western. All the tooling. Actually, here there's a close up of the holster.
All the branding and stuff. That's all. Is that move it over? Is that all like hand tooled work by you?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Ben did ask, do you do the branding? Yeah. Wow, that's gorgeous, dude.
It's so it was like it's not any like sort of branding or heat thing. So we I wet the leather down, like get it soaking wet, like let it soak through, and then I essentially being a leather carver, you just have to be really good at tracing shit a bunch, because you have your image, you trace it on the tracing film, and you lay that on the leather, and then you use a stylus, you trace that again, and then you take that off, and then you trace it again with a swivel knife to cut it in to the leather. And then I have a shit ton of these little tools that are tooling tools, and they all have a different purpose. And you sit there and you just, you know, you make your like bevels so that way the image is more 3D. And then you have all these different shapes to do all the different sort of like styles and stuff. I really got into like Western Sheridan style tooling. Here, I got something that's up close.
Ben was talking about the tequila guy, and he said, that's my favorite dude ever. Honestly, not heard at all, man. I totally agree. Holy shit, yeah.
So this little pouch.
Wow, dude. Here, let's get right in on that. Fuck.
So that's just, just some floral designs.
So just the branding work there, how long is that taking you?
Oh, it takes fucking forever. Like if I was to sit down and calculate, like if I was to start to finish the tooling on the gun belt for nonstop, at least 20 hours straight.
Oh, maybe fuck. More.
It'd probably be about 30 hours straight, like because there's so much that goes into it. So that project took a while, because like it was a lot of figuring it out. Because I'm like, I've never made a holster for a fucking square tequila bottle. Like how am I gonna figure this one out? So I did it kind of like. Luckily, I'd already done one for like a Nerf gun. I was like, well, let's put a soft bottom on it, And then he was like, "Can I have fringe too?" I'm like, "Oh shit! All right, sure." And then we added fringe to the bottom of the holsters, and he also has like a cross draw, like angled, like old school cowboy gun. I was like, "Is this a replica?" And he's like, "No." And I'm like, "Okay." To each his own, man. Like, it's cool. It's an old gun. It's like, because like, here's the thing: is like people always. That's the number one question I get from dudes when they hear I do leather work. Do you make gun holsters? And I'm like, I do, but I kind of categorize that as a normie thing because I'm like, you want me to do a holster for 1911, a Glock said 19, and I'm like, if you bring me a 1864 Peacemaker or something, you bring me some crazy weird gun. I'm gonna be like, oh, this is cool. Like, we did like pirate pistols. Bring me a flintlock, I'll make the shit out of a holster. I had a guy bring me I didn't bring it to me, but he told me he had a Howday gun, which is essentially just a sawed-off shotgun for tigers when you're hunting on the back of an elephant platform. And it's like this because you can't lift the guns fast enough. So if the tiger's jumping up, you need like a boom, like a sawed off, and it's like we made a 19-inch long holster. I found the pattern the other day. I forgot how fucking big this thing was, and I was like, "Yeah, that's cool. Let me do that." Like,
So that's when it goes from normie to something fucking cool.
Yeah, it's like when do like an antique sawed off shotgun, like hip holster, down.
That's great. Brian Manel said, "What is the most elaborate leatherworking job you've taken on?"
Probably with those two gun belts. The tequila gun belt was probably the most elaborate thing we've done. I mean, it took us multiple months, mainly because, it's like, all right, once we get the pattern, like he likes it, does it fit? Do I need to adjust anything? Because once I cut it out, it's like, that's it.
That's what it is, yeah.
Yeah. So, especially with the gun belts, you want them to make it so that way they fit nice because it has the extra little belt in the front, but you need them to just overlap. So if it's too long, you're trimming stuff off, but then, you fuck over your design because I've for the tooling part, and he was very lenient. He was like kind of just do whatever. He just wanted it to have on it like Poppy CC, which is his nickname for him and his wife. I guess their grandparents' names, or their grandpa is Poppy CC in 1962. Just needed that number on it. I'm like, all right. So on the back of it, it was hard to see in that photo, but it was. We have those photos, I think, on our Facebook. I did it like big lettering. It says tequila, and there's like a shot glass spilling out with a lime wedge on it, and it says 1962 on each side. And the holsters, the tall bottle says Poppy, and the short square bottle says CC, and then there's all the Western tooling around it, all the flowers and everything, which looks extremely complicated. It does take a lot of time. But it's very therapeutic for me. Like when I'm tooling, like I'm in the fucking zone, like hours will pass and I have no idea. Like if I'm like just in the zone, I'm cutting like leather and stuff. And when it comes to like tooling stuff, like the stuff we're doing for Matt and Steph's latest Kickstarter, they're doing the album, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a turntable cover. It's just a leather turntable cover because it's like, oh, my turntable's not in use. Put something cool on it. It's not a slip mat. Don't try to play your album on this. I cannot guarantee what the shit will do. So, but like those take a decent amount of time to do. But it's all like me and my business partner Martin. We have been tooling for a while now, so we've kind of gotten it like down. It still takes it just takes time.
Yeah,
but and that's the thing. There's a lot of new leather crafters out there, but there's not a lot that are trying to continue this art. Because I've talked to some of the guys, and I've run into them at the leather store and stuff, and it's great to listen to them and listen to these stories because it's like, you know, they're like, oh yeah, I started leatherwork just after World War II, and it's just holy shit. And he's, you know, and like he was showing me some of his work. He's like, it's not bad. And I'm like, the work he's showing me is like the shit you would see on the photo of how to do it. You know, like this is how you do it correctly. That's his, like that's their work. And I'm like, mine's like, I'm not even going to try to strive to that because I can't be that good of a perfectionist, because if I do, I'll drive myself crazy. It's all, oh yeah, hold on. I don't fucking know where they are. I'm trying.
Look at all that shit in the background, guys. Here, just go and look. Look at all this shit. Okay.
Oh yeah, and to Wendy, I do make dice bags and like bigger ones.
There you go, baby. See the dice bags?
All kinds of. I like dice bags because I like dice. So, and the ones we have here actually come with a little Poly 7 set. So.
Oh, cool.
So.
Oh yeah.
These I need to redo because it was supposed to have the top coat I put on it made it everything too shiny, and they're supposed to be matte black and shiny black. But as you can see, this is their Dueling Dragons logo from Nocturnia.
Yeah, I have the wood one. Did you make that too, the wood one?
No, I didn't do the wood one. That was a wood crafter guy who did those. And then the airs.
Oh yeah.
Gears. And gears are like, we've been doing steampunk stuff for so long. Like, just to give you an example of like, so here's what it looks like when it's still just raw veg. And then this is the beginning steps of nearly like everybody's like, oh, it's like I kind of do it so it's a little bit sloppy, but once I get my other colors on, it'll clean up everything with all the black.
Yeah.
So I'm focusing on the bright colors now, and then I'm going to put on the glow in the dark paint, and then fill in the teeth, and then I start doing the where the like these are going to be shiny black, and then the spaces between are going to be matte black, which is what that was. But then I put on too much of a shiny top coat. I didn't know it was going to be that shiny, and so it kind of nullified that effect. And I was like, oh. But as to like normie things, I make big stuff too.
Oh yeah. That's right, the knapsack.
This is a roll top backpack. I actually designed this pattern myself because I wanted one. So I have mine over there in the corner. But like this is, you unroll it here. It's quite large. I have a pillow stuffed in here so you can just see how much shit you can actually hold into it. And then this is a custom giant handbag. There's the front, and then there's like a back pocket. And
for a second there, I was really hoping those were like leather underwear or something. I was hoping.
Well, I call this bagception because there's a bag inside of this bag. And then there's a bag inside of that bag. So there's a bag inside of a bag inside of a bag.
Brilliant.
But what's like this is actually based off a model that some lady brought to me. She had like a tote bag, travel bag she liked, and we recreated it for her. But the one thing we did different that she loved was because her inside bag was like a divider, but it was permanent. But we make ours.
Oh, dude. Ladies, are you ever afraid that you're going to lose your bag? Well, are you ever afraid that you're going to lose the bag that you put your bag in? Well, we've got this for you.
It's like bagception. If you lose one bag, you still got another two. So.
Yeah, but if you lost the bag, you probably lost it inside of that bag. You'll find it eventually.
It's a big fucking bag.
Oh,
like,
shit.
I always tell people that, mind you, it's hard to see, but like you see those edges, those are rolled. All the edges are rolled edges. This is all hand stitched.
Dude.
We stitch all this up by hand.
Wow.
So all the seams, these are like rolled, like inside out and stitched. The pockets are stitched on. Inside bag, all the edges inside of that are rolled edges. So it's like, so that way there's no frays and stuff at the ends. So yeah, all that's like stitched by hand. So like, I don't know if you can, if I put my hand up to the camera, you can see like how messed up my fingers are. And so when people go, why does it cost so much? I go, because my hands hurt. Thank you, Brian.
All right, well, holy shit, dude. This has been fucking insane. Like,
Yeah,
I love it.
So, like, I'm a leather guy. I kind of started like, we started working with Matt and Steph, and then like it really kicked off like a great relationship. And then of course the Tales of Nocturnia like series 3 finale was we made the Dragon Lord masks, and it kind of like steamrolled into where they were like, we're putting that in the comic, and like the mask is on the back of the comic books and shit, and like there's like life imitating art imitating life, because like my character is in the book selling Dragon Lord masks at a farmer's market. I'm like, that's hilarious. So
I love that. I love that. And Ben is going to get a wallet off you. He has to get one of those wallets. Dude, I love that you guys are so excited about that. I was like, I'm going to bring on a leather worker, and I don't know what the fuck that means, but I love the dude, so I don't give a shit. If I have one episode where no one watches, I don't fucking care. So I love that everyone's jumped on this and enjoyed it. Brian, I'm going to finish up, so bring out your last question, and I will absolutely make sure that we get to it. So type out your paragraph question, and we'll get to it. Oh, Brian loves a big long question, and I love him for it. He's one of my favorite fans, man. He's just always out there asking you guys great questions. At this point, I feel like I couldn't do the show without him. Without him out there watching and asking questions, I'd be like, what is even the point? Oh yeah, see, I love yeah. That's fucking killer.
Not used to how this camera works.
Here, we can do this. Boom. It's in there.
Playing Dr. Mask.
Oh, this is a good question. Oh, dude, he's got a good question for you.
There you
All right, let's see. Oh, that's badass. Oh, I love that. I might want to pick up one of those. Holy shit.
Bitch of a bag to do, but it's a hefty boy, I'll tell you that.
I don't need anything special. I would take one of the ones you've already got made. So Brian asks, is there a leather working project you've wanted to work on, but you haven't been commissioned for or had the time?
Oh, there's all kinds of little projects that I have ideas for. Like, I love doing like apocalypse style gear. I want to do more because like, you ever been to the Goodwill and you see like really cool shit, but it's not your size because you can't fit anything? Like, oh, it's a medium. It's a cool bomber jacket, and I have a whole bit of weird scraps and belt cutoff ends, and I call it my Mad Max bin. And I'm like, one of these, I need to get it to like and find a cool jacket and just add a bunch of cool shit to it, and it'd be like a custom one-off piece, you know. But like, I got these shoulder pieces with spikes and everything on them, chest harnesses. The one thing I would love to do that I never have time for because I'm always busy and making things, which is fine. I love making projects for people. If I ever had the time to do it, I would want to do like a full set of like dwarven leather armor for myself.
Oh, I just fucking came for the first time on this show. I would fucking be all over that. Holy shit, dude.
Like, just, the cool classic looking, cause like dwarven, like sort of carving, is a lot of like cross lines and stuff like that. And like, looks really badass, especially since I would do it like 3-dimensional and like add I can add brass pieces. And like dwarven armor, like boots, is a lot of like square ends, and like like it's not rounded. It's not. None of it needs to be smooth and like flowy. It's all like if it breaks off at the shoulder, then it's better because you can fuck people up more with it.
Harsh lines, the whole thing, dude. Oh yeah, it's dwarven. I fucking yeah. Oh shit, that's my shit right there. I love the dwarves. Fuck yeah.
It's just like I'm not very tall. I got a big gut. I'm like, I think I could pull off dwarf armor pretty well, But that's the one thing. It's just like one day I want to do some dwarven armor for myself, but I
want to one day. I want to have the money to make you do that. Yeah.
Like we've done armor pieces before. Do a lot of the like I said, like the gauntlets are the thing we do the most of. Like, and those are huge, mind you. I don't have a scale for you, but
they're probably the size of someone's hands. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There you go.
Our normal size gauntlet, right?
That's cool.
And like those, go on your forearm, and you can move around. But those other ones are big XL size, and they go from the wrist, like up to here. So like, which is why you would need to drink out of a tankard of ale, because you can only bend your arm to like here, and then you just have to like throw it back because you can't cook your arm any further because it like just stops it right there. They're so fucking big. And then there's like like rabbit fur like trim on the top and bottom to give it that like Arctic look, but it's not actually lined with fur because it'd be too damn hot.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think practical here. You can't wear a full like fur lined cuffs at a Ren Fair in Florida. You'll die.
Right? Yeah. Right. No. Exactly. Oh, dude, that's fucking brilliant.
But yeah, that'd be the thing I want to build for myself. Dwarven armor. One of these days, like, I got a young apprentice now at the farmer's market. He's 8 and he's excited. So I'm going to teach him a bunch of stuff. And then one of these days I'm going to be like, you're hired. Do all this extra work I don't want to do so I can work on this.
Right? Guys, this is delightfully the most fucked up show we have had yet. I love it. This is just, I never could have seen any of this stuff coming.
I'm glad to be part of the debauchery, my friend.
Oh, no, you've done great, dude. You've done absolutely great. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you coming out, homie. Guys, next week, we've got Omar Morales. I'm sorry, Omar. You've got to fucking follow this. But I'm sure you'll do great. You'll have a good time. Comic, like, oh, just another comic creator? He's done good shit. Yeah, well, did he make a dick thing for a fucking goat? I don't think so, but we'll find out. Maybe he made a dick thing for a different animal. I don't know. So, yeah, man. Harrison, thank you so much for coming out. We fucking appreciate the hell out of you.
Cat armor. I've always wanted to make dog and cat armor. That's the other thing. Haven't had the time. That's when you said animals, I'm like, cat armor. Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. Brian Manel, he is GB Leatherworking. If you go find it on Facebook, you can tackle him, or of course, I've also tagged him in the post, so you can go straight to the man and ask him for whatever you want. So glad to have opened up that up.
Like links to our Facebook and Instagram. Website is coming soon, and like I said, just there's the bit of social media we get around to, and because we're just like pencil and paper is better, there we go. Thank you, Matt.
That's great. He's got it on fucking copy and paste now. He was just like, Control V. There we go.
He's over here typing away. But yeah, no. I had a great time. I'm glad you brought me on the show, man. It's been a lot of fun.
I feel pretty. I know I'll never top the cockblocker, so there's less pressure. Yeah, right. Yeah, that helps a lot. Dude, yeah, fuck. This has been fucking just a ball, man. Thank you so much. What a great show. Guys, Keep coming on out. You never know what the fuck you're gonna see on Chuck's
Exactly.
Shop Talk. Guy, I don't even know how else to end it except for the usual. My name is Chuck, and I absolutely do give a fuck. Take care, guys.